I recently read an article detailing the future of crypto gaming not being on these DeFi protocols, instead being based off of gameplay, and this couldn't be truer. In 2023, we've had a ton of great titles either having come out or being really close to release, and so in this video, we're going to be going over the top 10 crypto games that you betcha are going to be really exciting for this year. So with that being said, if you enjoy content like this, as always, like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Now, I figured we should start this list by going off with a bang. Illuvium being one of the first AAA cryptocurrency-based games to come out, and their slogan is that interoperability is the name of the game. The really cool thing about Illuvium is that it doesn't consist of just one game. Instead, they've got three sectors: Illuvium Zero, Illuvium Overworld, and Illuvium Arena. Now, the easiest way to explain this is Illuvium Overworld being the whole Pokemon open world feel that you get usually with these things called Illuvials, which you go out there, you capture with your gun. Next one being Illuvium Arena, where it just reminds you a lot of Teamfight Tactics, Dota 2 auto chess, where you just hop on there, strategize, and try to conquer the enemy, possibly capturing said Illuvials. And Illuvium Zero, which is land-based gameplay, predominantly in the mobile gaming space, said to become the next billion user onboarding for the crypto gaming space. Now, the great thing about Illuvium is that all of these games are actually part of their private beta, so if you're a part of their community, a lot easier to get ahead of it, and a lot easier to onboard into the next crypto gaming revolution. Now, the next game on this list is called Spider Tanks. This is made by Game Media, an external publisher of Gala Games. This game is a multiplayer online battle arena, which is really cool because of the fact that not only are they obsessed with chickens and with the egg shortage even better, but because of the fact that this is a 3v3 game that is actually available right now in the Gala Games store. You can go ahead, grab your tank, customize it, upgrade it with a bunch of different things, and with their Silk ecosystem, which is something that we'd have to get into in an entirely other video, they have a robust ecosystem that is really friendly to players that just want to play games for fun, as well as people that want to go a little bit harder by actually owning these maps in these node systems, in these planets and factories and so many other things that you can explore in Spider Tanks. But essentially, you hop on there, you play in 6 different game modes, and you just ham it out until you defeat each other in a very short time span. If you're trying to go for a game that ends fast, Spider Tanks is that game. Now, one of the most impressive titles for a top 10 crypto games list has to be Big Time. Now, Big Time, I feel like at least is the most impressive MMORPG to come from the crypto gaming space this year, only because of the fact that not only are they out, they're free to play, they've got a bunch of consistent updates that are making the game better and better, but on top of that, they run a model which reminds me a lot of regular games. This is just essentially, you play the game, you get items for playing this game over time, maybe you defeat a really cool boss that not a lot of people can beat, you sell it on an open marketplace for money, and that's as simple as it goes. It's just, you grab a regular MMORPG, you put a bunch of really cool gameplay that engages you on there with different classes, and you just hop in there, slay some monsters, and get some of your time back in terms of rewards. Now, if you're into battle royales and you're into the Wild West, then Grit is going to be your game. Now, this game is singled out to be one of the best games to come out in 2023, only because of the fact that it's developed by the one and only Gala Games. You hop on there, and there can't be room for 2 of us because there's a whole lot of people hopping on there. Now, really cool details about Grit is the fact that they actually have an inventory system, so you can't just pick up as many weapons as you want. You've actually got to think about what you pick up. On top of that, they've got horses, they've got guns, they've got rapid fire Wild West, and overall, for a game in the crypto space, Grit is a bit ahead of its time. This is a game that I feel like would make a ton of sense in the mobile gaming genre. They're launching initially on PC. Tell the Gala Games guys that I would love to see that there, but overall, you have a zone. It's the same as every other game, but I mean, it moves with time, so it's a bit of an interesting zone technique, and overall, for a Wild West battle royale, Grit's the game for ya. The next game on this list got onboarded onto the GameStop NFT marketplace. Remember GameStop and the AMC apes and all these different things? Well, WAGMI Defense was a part of this. And initially, I would never have put this game on a top 10 crypto games list, but considering the level of progress that has been done in a very short period of time and all of their accomplishments, I find it kind of hard to not put them there. Now, this is a PvP tower defense game. You've got several races. You've got the aliens. You've got the humans. You've got all of these different NFTs that play into this game. Reminds me a ton of games like Clash Royale, where you've got your base on one side, you've got the enemy base on the other side. You kind of just ham it at. But this game's a little bit different in the sense that it's already been fleshed out. A lot of its public testing has been done. And overall, for a mobile game, this game is a big one for tower defense. If you're not into complicated games and you're into just games that are simple, they've got a very fun mechanism, and they just get you playing the game in esports fashion, EV.io is this. Now, it's a multiplayer game. You can hop on there. It's probably the easiest to onboard because literally all you do is put on your webpage ev.io and you're on there. Now, of course, you have to make an account and do these several other things if you actually want to earn anything, you know, the cosmetics, which you can sell on the marketplace. But overall, this is not a pay-to-win game. It's a very fair game. It's a simple game. And for esports, that's exactly what you need. You need a level playing field where everybody could just onboard into these games. And I think EV.io is possibly the first crypto game that is just doing things the right way. So as always, we definitely need to shout these guys out. If you're into sports games, STG Football is your game. Straight up, this is like the arcade NFL games that you'd play back in the day. And being officially licensed by the NFL Players Association, this game takes a lot of the different players and onboards them into a really fun arcade version of your regular NFL game. This is, of course, not like literally an NFL game, but nonetheless, you can hop on there, play as your favorite players, whether or not it's Tom Brady or all these different players, and you just go into there and ham at it. You have different abilities, super tackles and super dives and super catches, where you actually have to think about your energy system before you just go spam things out. And if you're trying to play a game where you play with a bunch of your friends as different players and try to beat the enemy in a football game, STG Football is the game for you. Now, the top Solana game on this list is Star Atlas. It's a no-brainer. It's a futuristic game. It's got a massive vision from these. I just feel like if you grab Star Citizen and you just slapped it into crypto, it would be Star Atlas. So this is a massive project and a massive undertaking. It probably would have been easily a top 2 project on this list. However, they had one fatal mistake, and the one fatal mistake is the fact that they lost half of their funds off of the FTX crash. FTX being one of the largest crypto exchanges at some point in November, they just went bankrupt, and unfortunately for a lot of us, Sam Bankman-Fried had a lot of orgies instead of taking care of his cryptocurrency exchange. So it is what it is, but this is a futuristic game. You can go ahead and do racing. You can go ahead and explore these open worlds. You can mine. You can do a lot of those things that you would expect in a space exploration game. And Star Atlas, it looks beautiful. So hopefully they get enough funds to muster up the next few years of development and actually get this title out there for us. The best roguelite has to be Superior right now. Superior is a game that just takes place in this world where these superheroes just decided, you know what? I don't feel like being so super right now, and let's become abominations. You take place in a world where these abominations are destroying everything, and these robots are all over the place, and you play as a Ronin. Now, this is a really cool third-person shooter roguelite game that you can just go ahead, have these upgrades you can get over time as you're playing the game, playing with your friends, upgrading your skill trees, and most importantly, it's on early access permanent on Steam, which is a place that's infamous for being against crypto games. So if there's anything to give a vouch for Superior, it's probably the Steam marketplace. Now, I feel like we kind of ignored metaverses, and remember that Mark Zuckerberg is a very big fan of these metaverses. So with the final game on this list, let's talk about the SANDBOX. This is that gamification of a world where you could just go ahead and do essentially anything you want. You buy these land plots, you can put whatever you want on there. Really, the sky is the limit. In fact, they have alpha season passes where you go ahead, hop on there as a free-to-play player, and you have an opportunity to earn a bunch of crypto. So for metaverses, this probably being one of the biggest ones out there, competitive to Decentraland, which, by the way, is a great game if you think about their ice poker and you're into that stuff. SANDBOX is just a partner of so many different people, and if we're thinking about metaverses, you're just thinking of who can build the best games, and I feel like with their voxel art, the SANDBOX is probably going to be one of the top ones. Now keep in mind that a lot of these crypto games don't have fully developed economies, and even if they did, a lot of them are still unproven. So always do your own research as to whether or not you want to invest into these games. But the cool thing is a lot of them are free, and there's zero stress to actually spend any money on these games, which is why I think crypto gaming is going to have a pretty good year this year. We're going to be a little less focused on just trying to pump things and more focused on just gameplay and delivery. So if this is a video that you liked watching, feel free to go ahead, like and subscribe. My name is Classic Crypto. This is my gaming channel. We cover the top crypto games on the space, and I hope that you enjoyed our list on the top 10 crypto games. Stay safe, stay classy, and that's all.